So we've been talking about serializing music a lot lately, and I want to go on and show you an example that's practical in music that gets a little bit off the beaten path. Okay, so the beaten path is 20th century music, of course, but it usually will use the chromatic scale. And we can get away with using something besides the chromatic scale. A lot of people have trouble using the chromatic scale anyway because of all the dissonance and the tritones found in it. There's kind of too many pitches to make it sound good. After all, music, the music that we've grown up with, especially pop music and chords from the classical period and everything like that, they don't really use the chromatic scale entirely. They use a subset of it, right? So if we want to serialize something and have it still sound nice, why not use something like the pentatonic scale? Pentatonic scale. Okay, so if we use the pentatonic scale, remember the pentatonic scale only has 5 pitches, and it sounds a lot nicer than the chromatic scale because there's no tritones and there are no half steps and that kind of thing. Okay, so if we were to use the pentatonic, the one I want to use today is simply C, D, E, and then G and A. We'll keep it really simple. Okay. And so, if we use these pitches, we can still make a random tone row out of this. Let's see, I think my favorite one is G. Let's go here. G, C, E, D, A. And it sounds like this. Okay, I really like the sound of that one. So I'm going to use that one as my example here. All we have to do is throw this on the top here. So G, C, E, D, and A. Okay, I'll use actual pitch names today. And then the next step, of course, is we have to write the diagonal. So we keep this pitch the same and go just down the diagonal. Okay, so just G, 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 G. Okay, now we start ping-ponging across. What comes right before G is E, so E is graduating to G right here. So all we have to do is add another note. D adds 1, I'll even use a different color. D adds 1 to get to E. All we're doing is this, right? G is going to A is going back to C. Okay, so D goes to E. E is going, I'm sorry, A is going to C. C is going to D. G is going to A. Oops, is going to A. Double check your work. Make sure you have one of each letter here. Make sure that this relationship is correct. Okay, if we're moving up, all we have to do is move here to there. We have E going to G, so C goes to D here. G goes to A. D goes to E. A goes to C, just like that. Okay, let's go ahead and use yellow instead. I didn't mean to use the same color, but hopefully that's not too confusing. Our next one, we have a new E here. E is going to G there. So A is going to graduate here to C. G is going to A. D is going to E. And C is going to D. Okay. And finally, we can, because this matrix is small enough, we can kind of just figure out what's missing here. Okay. So let's just do that. So this is missing an E. This is missing an A. This is we're missing a D, and we're missing a C here. Okay, so here is our entire matrix built on the pentatonic scale. Now, if you were to play any of these, for example, if we just took this one, D, G, C, A, E. Okay, that sounds really nice compared to maybe the chromatic scale. Okay, so these are really good. If you were to use this for the pentatonic scale, you can get some pretty nice music, okay? And it sounds pretty good. This is also a good way to dictate what notes to use. Okay, so I suggest you play with this or make up your own tone row and make up your own matrix based on the pentatonic scale or any other scale. You can use things like the whole tone scale, but that is built on whole steps and tritones, so good luck. But the whole tone scale is fine because that only has 12 pitches. You could do this with the major scale, any major scale you want, or any minor scale you want, or any of the modes, of course, modes. Okay, so use other subsets. Don't just limit yourself to the chromatic scale. There's more to use than just the chromatic scale, okay? So good luck, and let me know how you do.